So as we discussed on the show, y'all, we had a MAGA terror attack, right-wing terrorism, inflicted on Minnesota the other day. You had this guy who listened to InfoWars, was an anti-abortion extremist, has ties to the shady Eric Prince Blackwater Group, which is a Christian mercenary army that was used in Iraq. This guy knocked on the door of a Democratic politician's house, shot her and her husband. Unfortunately, we've had deaths as a result of this. Also tried to murder another Democratic politician. That one, I believe, survived after surgery. But he wore a Kevlar vest, showed up dressed like a police officer, had a police-looking vehicle, and murdered these people in cold blood, wearing a latex mask, very horror movie-esque stuff. And again, I want to be clear here. This person was a Trump supporter. This person was a far-right extremist. This person committed an act of terrorism in this country. The response from the right was to, and you could go watch my segment on this the other day, their response was to gaslight, to lie relentlessly, to pretend like, no, this was actually a Democrat. And their argument that they used is because Tim Walz appointed this person to some board, some stupid business board that doesn't mean anything, never even met the person, but you got to do some bipartisan appointments, so we appointed this person there. They tried to use that to say, oh, this is definitely a Democrat. Not a Democrat, not even close. Literally all the evidence says the opposite. His best friend and roommate said he loved Trump, he watched InfoWars, super right-wing, super anti-abortion. He had a list of people to kill, 70 people on the list, every single one of them Democrats. So, if you are the president of the United States and somebody's out there killing in your name, murdering in your name, doing terrorism in your name, that would be a time for you to come out and make a forceful statement and denounce political violence and say, this is unacceptable and we don't do that in this country. And just the standard things any rational, reasonable, empathetic human being and president would say. Well, Trump, of course, didn't do that. There was some vague statement released by the White House, which I'm sure Trump didn't even write about, that he's not the one that wrote it. And then he was on the plane the other day and he was asked, hey, are you going to call Tim Walz, the Democratic governor of Minnesota? Because remember, Tim Walz, this was Tim Walz's friend. Tim Walz worked with this person all the time to get their agenda through. Tim Walz was literally on the terrorist kill list of this guy. Here's what Trump's reaction is. Ready?
Horrific details that came out today about the suspect who's been charged there. Have you called the governor yet or been able to speak to any of them?
I don't really call him. He appointed this guy to a position. I think the governor of Minnesota is so whacked out. I'm not calling him. Why would I call him? I could call him and say, hi, how you doing? The guy doesn't have a clue. He's a mess. So, I could be nice and call him, but why waste time?
This man is disgustingly evil. And let's be honest, that reaction makes clear. I really don't. If you want to kill for MAGA, you want to kill for me, you want to go after the Democrats, the liberals, the leftists, you want to wreak havoc on this country and go after those people, go ahead. Go ahead. He's not going to denounce it. He's not going to talk about it. He's not going to call those affected. He's not going to try to unite the country. He's not going to try to unify anybody. He's going to go out there and then viciously smear Tim Walz in a vile fashion, casually saying, why would I waste my time? Why would I call? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because he was on a fucking kill list of a guy who was a big MAGA supporter. But you like it, don't you? What do you expect from the guy who pardoned 1,600 January 6ers, including over 400 that were violent criminals, over 100 assaulted officers? Some of them went on to kill again, drunk driving, killed somebody. Some of them have fredophilia convictions that they're now saying Trump's pardon gets them off from that too. Don't ever fucking talk about law and order ever again, ever. Never mind the fact that he's a fucking criminal, charged with 91 crimes, convicted in the state of New York, tried to overturn the 2020 election with the fake electors slate. This is what happens, y'all. There's no brakes on the car. This is what y'all need to understand. There's no brakes on the car. There are no guardrails anymore. In the first term, there were some reasonable, sane people around him who would try to temper his worst instincts. No, they would say, oh, sorry, sir, not a good idea to shoot protesters in the leg. Sorry, sir, not a good idea to deploy the U.S. military against the people of the United States invading your own country. This is not a good idea, sir. Don't do this, sir. Don't do that, sir. Now, everybody, MAGA's based. Trigger the libs, bro. Go after him, bro. And you think fucking Pete Hegseth is going to reel this guy in? Drunk off his ass on gin? Womanizing 24. You think that guy's going to fucking reel him in? Who's going to reel? Is Kristi Noem going to reel him in after her 17th lip filler surgery? Who's going to reel him in? Nobody's going to reel him in. This is what he's going to do. And by the way, there wasn't even much talk about this. Here he is smearing Tim Walz after Tim Walz was on a literal murder list from a MAGA terrorist, doesn't give a fuck about the Democrats who were killed. In fact, probably low-key supports it. Nobody talked about this. This wasn't an outrage. This wasn't a scandal. Now, I understand there's other things going on that are, colossal, like deploying the military against the people of the United States and war with Iran and all the chaos, the big, beautiful bill, etc. But this is how much this man has thoroughly fucking broken this country. The fabric of this country is fucked. Look, I'm not one of those people, what about the kids? What about the children? But do you want kids being raised in a country where this is the reaction of the president after somebody murders in his name, does a terror attack? What message are we... The message that we're sending to the next generation is be an asshole, be incredibly cruel, be incredibly petty, be incredibly vindictive, do everything based off your gut instinct, even if it's a horrible, vicious instinct. All the old school virtues and values of like, be a good person, be empathetic, be altruistic, try to care about equality, try to care about justice. All these basic liberal values are just out the fucking window. Now it's like, be the worst person you could ever be, ever. This is unacceptable. I'm going to say this now for shit, the 100th time. This man has to be impeached and removed from office. And I don't care which argument you use. You want to go after the emoluments clause and the corruption? Be my guest. You want to go after him for the illegal war on Iran and the illegal bombing of Yemen? Be my guest. There's about 17 different arguments you can use to go after this guy and impeach him. How about letting the world's richest robber baron loot the treasury and illegally cut programs, agencies that affect his bottom line? There's a million arguments, but you got to do it. You got to fucking do it. This man is the destruction of the United States of America. It's not even fucking close. And I don't want to hear a goddamn word about anybody, from anybody, who at this late date, so, I kind of like him. Fuck you. Fuck you. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.